On the first day of Christmas, my true love gave to me a partridge in a pear tree. On the second day of Christmas, my true love gave to me 2 turtle doves and a partridge in a pear tree. On the third day of Christmas, my true love gave to me 3 French hens, 2 turtle doves and a partridge in a pear tree. On the fourth day of Christmas, my true love gave to me 4 calling birds, 3 French hens, 2 turtle doves and a partridge in a pear tree. On the fifth day of Christmas, my true love gave to me 5 golden rings, 4 calling birds, 3 French hens, 2 turtle doves and a partridge in a pear tree. On the sixth day of Christmas, my true love gave to me 6 geese laying, 5 golden rings, 4 calling birds, 3 French hens, 2 turtle doves, and a partridge in a pear tree. On the seventh day of Christmas, my true love gave to me 7 swans a swimming, 6 geese laying, 5 golden rings, 4 calling birds, 3 French hens, 2 turtle doves, and a partridge in a pear tree. On the ninth day of Christmas, my true love gave to me 9 ladies waiting, 8 maids a milking, 7 swans a swimming, 6 geese a laying, 5 golden rings, 4 calling birds, 3 French hens, 2 turtle doves, and a partridge in a pear tree. On the 10th day of Christmas, my true love gave to me 10 lords a leaping, 9 ladies waiting, 8 maids a milking, 7 swans a swimming, 6 geese a laying, 5 golden rings, 4 calling birds, 3 French hens, 2 turtle doves, and a partridge in a pear tree. On the 11th day of Christmas, my true love gave to me 11 pipers piping, 10 lords a leaping, 9 ladies waiting, 8 maids a milking, 7 swans a swimming, 6 geese a laying, 5 golden rings, 4 calling birds, 3 French hens, 2 turtle doves, and a partridge in a pear tree. On the 12th day of Christmas, my true love gave to me 12 drummers drumming, 11 pipers piping, 10 lords a leaping, 9 ladies waiting, 8 maids a milking, 7 swans a swimming, 6 geese a laying, 5 golden rings, 4 calling birds, 3 French hens, 2 turtle doves, and a partridge in a pear tree, and a partridge in a pear tree.
What's up?
Hey.
Hey everyone. Hey, how you doing?
Oh my god, I don't have my Christmas outfit yet.
I couldn't help it. I thought, since it's a Christmas kind of event, I thought I'm gonna have to wear my Christmas jumper and Christmas hat. Is my audio okay?
You're good
Because
to
I've
me.
been, I just emailed Ryan and I'm not sure with the actual jack in new laptop.
I think your sound is okay.
Yeah.
Yes, I'm good.
Okay.
I'm good. Trying to bring some Christmas into it.
Bring it
Not
on.
sure, not sure where to hang it. How are you, Ian?
Yeah, good. How are you?
Good. How's the baby?
Oh, yeah, well, she's not really a baby now. She's
Yeah.
toddler running around.
Yeah, yeah, exactly. She's past that point.
Yeah, how about you?
Well, it's been quite crazy. I don't have to tell you, right? Those first
Oh,
months
yeah.
are like,
Yeah. Like, it's one of the hardest things I've ever done. Yeah.
sure.
But one of the best. I think with you, growing up okay. And Alex, it's the first time I've properly spoken to you, or first time.
Right.
spoken face-to-face. So it's
Nice
nice to meet
finally
you. How
see
you
you.
doing?
Yeah, right. I'm great, man. I'm great. I'm actually a bit tired today. I've been surfing this morning, and it's now like 9:30 p.m. here. But holding on.
Yeah, it's 9:30
good.
p.m. here as well. Where are you
Yeah.
based?
Well, usually in Barcelona. Now I'm in
Right.
Lanzarote in Canary Islands.
Right, very nice. Very
Yeah,
nice.
it's 10:30 here, guys. So I'm
Yeah, pretty late
Ooh.
for you. But Steph,
The babe-
you don't even know what sleep is anyway, do you?
Yeah, you have a
the-
baby, right?
I'm in the I'm in the black hole, but she's sleeping in the room below me. So I really hope I don't wake her up because my wife's gonna go crazy.
Yeah, that is why I'm in my kitchen on my laptop, because my office, which has like a proper mic and everything, is it's in a room very near to her, and I normally speak a little bit louder on any call,
Yeah.
and it would definitely wake her up. Like if I'm upstairs, we pretty much have to whisper, otherwise it wakes her up. So yeah, I'm in the furthest possible room away.
The
No, we
the
didn't.
whole okay. I was
No,
like
we're like we
fiddling
thought it
with
was
the
a
Christmas.
surprise or something.
Oh my god.
Are you both using proper cameras? You know,
Alex
Haven't been
told
able
me
to
to
do
step
that
up my game, so I did.
I was like,
very jealous.
drop some money.
It was Black Friday, we had to.
I don't need
Yeah,
a
it looks
fancy
really
watch.
pro,
Nice,
and
looking
Thanks.
good.
You
I
can give
feel
the
like I need
elves
to run
a
upstairs and
break.
get my camera.
You can't make it in the
Didn't want to
shop.
outshine you, Ian.
You can't put
But we
it
do need
on
to show off the new
display.
gear, right?
Yeah,
Yeah.
No, it looks very classy.
Nobody else
Both.
Well, I think Alex, his setup always looks like really cozy, so I still have some work to do. But I'm using the books for now.
Yeah.
It's always going in like in the background. Some color,
just wanna fall in love.
Here's the crappy blinds in the background. But I have
Paper wrapping paper.
wait, hold on, there's more. There you go.
All right. Hey everyone, what's up? Welcome to this session of Frontrow. Let me know if you guys can hear me. I'm working with Zoom today too, so we're bringing in some speakers. So I might have some technical difficulties on my end because I don't have Tom, our awesome head of broadcast, with me. But yeah, I hope you guys are doing well. Today we are joined by Alex Antolino, the creative director at Typeform. We have Ian from Logo Geek. We have Steph from Let's Talk Branding. We're gonna just be having a bit of a chill Zoom session with you guys, chilling out with you guys, and just having a bit of a fun end to 2020, or almost the end of 2020. I've got a few ideas on what we can do, some games and things like that. But yeah, I'm super excited to get into this one. If you guys have any questions for these guys, drop a thing in the chat, wherever it is for you, and we can answer those too. But yeah, or even if you want to potentially join this Zoom call, I might be able to chuck the link up for you guys to join. So yeah, highly recommend you stick around and hang out with these amazing legends. Let's jump into them now. They can't currently hear me, but I can hear them having a conversation. So let's go disrupt their conversation and jump into it. They're going to be so awkward. Here we go. Let's see if we can do it.
because I
Sure.
think I might get it. Because I've
Happy
used
to.
there's a I can't remember what it's called now, like Ecamm Live or
Yeah,
something.
Ecamm Live. Yeah.
But it's there's a monthly fee to it, and I don't use it enough to warrant spending, what is it, like 30 quid a month?
Yeah, but oh
Yeah.
oh yeah.
Yay! Hey everyone.
Cool. Hi, folks. Woo.
Yay.
How'd you come up with that statistic, Ryan? We feel honored.
Yeah, we go with that. I think we have to accept that. Mhm.
All right, so my 2020, like most of you guys, probably it's been crazy. I should be now maybe in the US, so I was like planning on like moving to the US right before COVID strike, and everything got pushed back. And eventually one morning I woke up and I was like, I'm gonna buy a van, and here we are. So I've been traveling a lot this year, but in a van and like in these circumstances. So yeah, it's been kind of crazy, but fun at the same time. So
That's cool. Do you still want to move to the
I'm
US?
jealous, man.
I mean, it's not what I expected or what I had planned, but like it's an experience, and yeah, it's cool.
That's cool. So, and what are your plans for next year then?
for next year, hopefully, let's see what happens when traveling is like more normalized again. Probably like keep pushing with video ask from Typeform, the brand that I'm developing right now, and also helping out lot in terms of work.
For next
And let's see
year,
what happens with the van thing. Like, let's see if we can keep traveling around. Maybe I
Yeah.
can bring the band to US. I don't know. Literally have no idea.
That's cool. Cool. Ian, what's your plans?
Okay, so this year I basically, right at the beginning of the year, I made my mind up that I'm gonna hand in my notice at the job that I had part-time so that I could go full in on what I've been doing with Logo Geek. And 2 months notice, and I basically started that in March, and that's when all the lockdowns and everything started. But thankfully, in terms of client work, it's been absolutely fantastic. I've done 2 logo projects so far for Cambridge University, which is awesome, you know, to be able to get those as an independent. And one of my main goals for this year was to do my podcast weekly, whilst previously it was seasons of 10 episodes. And apart from having a couple of weeks off through the year, I've been able to hold up on that. I think one thing that didn't go to plan, but it was more I changed my plans because of COVID, and because I decided to go full time, was write a book. So at the end of last year, I made my mind up that I'm going to dedicate time to writing this book. I blocked out the time because at that time I had this part-time job. I was basically not going to take on any personal projects and put in all my personal time into that. But obviously my plans changed. But with the book, uh, a few weeks ago, I decided I set myself a plan of doing it this year. So I've basically been writing every day for the last 2 weeks. I set myself a
Cool.
challenge of writing at least 500 words a day. And so far I've been able to do that. So even though I haven't wrote my book yet, I'm about nearly 20,000 words in, which is a
Whoops.
significant amount. So it's just over halfway. So my plans for 2021 is to finish off that book, hopefully have that all done and dusted by March, at least the first draft. And then we'll see where that takes us, because I know that's the foundation for a whole load of other stuff that I've got planned. So I don't have a set in stone plan for next year. It's just a case of carrying on what I'm doing, seeing where that takes me, and just continue what I've been growing this year. So that's pretty much a summary.
Yeah, that's cool. Have you thought about how you're gonna like publish the book? Like, are you gonna work with a publisher? Or are you gonna?
No, I've one of my biggest challenges, because this is something that's been on my, like, as a New Year's resolution now for a number of years, and I've tried writing sections during like holidays over the last few years, but I've never really properly got into a set routine. So for me, anything else is just not a priority right now. My focus needs to be writing. So
Yeah.
literally all I'm focusing on at the moment is writing. I think once I got a first draft done, that's when I'll look into um, the options.
Yeah.
But I would, but something I'm thinking of doing is probably self-publishing and launching it through Kickstarter, because I think I'm hoping that I should be able to get enough sales in a Kickstarter to be able to, you know, just self-publish a few hundred books, and we'll see where it goes. I mean, it's more for me something that I wanted to do for a long time, rather than um, being something that will be profitable. It's just it really is just about finishing off. So right here, right now, I'm focusing on writing only, and anything else is just nice, exciting things to look at once I've finished writing something.
Yeah, 100%. You should speak to Mike Janda too, because I know that he's obviously published a few books and he's gone down the path of both self-publishing
Yeah, he's
and
already
going the.
offered very kindly,
There you
so
go.
I'm
Yeah,
definitely going to
yeah.
accept that.
Yeah,
offer.
definitely.
I know we'll have plenty of great advice. So
Yeah. All right, cool. Steph, what are the plans?
Yeah, first off, it was a bit of a crazy year, so had a baby.
Oh, wow.
So that happened. Had surgery, had a skateboard accident, had a lot of troubles as well. So that was like it was all part of the 2020 year where I had a lot
You've
of
been
like
busy.
misery. But actually, that didn't matter as much because of course big things happened, and also it was like transformational for me on the business level because I really like grew a lot professionally in how I do my stuff, how I do my brand strategy and my branding work. So I think that was really interesting for me where I stepped up a level, I think, and also got into different types of clients. And actually also like Ian, I'm transforming into my full-time studio, one-man studio story. So I used to have an agency together with my brother, with a few other people, but I'm stopping there and I'm focusing full-time on doing like consultancy work for clients, but also growing Let's Talk Branding, the podcast, the courses. Not planning to write a book yet, although that would be awesome. But I think that's a whole other thing on its own. So yeah, and then maybe some things that failed. I think actually, like every year, I set a lot of goals for myself. Like I'm gonna grow the YouTube channel, and I'm gonna do this and that. And I think I have like 10 goals, and I don't think I hit any of them except for the podcast, which went really well, and we exceeded over like 160,000 downloads. So that was
Oh,
really
wow.
cool. So that's growing and still growing, and I did that almost weekly. Was quite murderous because I also started another podcast. So yeah, I've been trying to take on probably too much, and that's probably gonna be for next year. I'm gonna keep growing the podcast. Definitely want to grow on YouTube. So if people want to follow me on YouTube, go do that.
Hit that like button, hit like subscribe.
Ding ding, blah blah blah, whatever.
100%. Did you guys have like New Year's resolutions? Like, I know for me at the start of this year, I mean, everything kind of got thrown out the window anyway. But like my
Mhm.
New Year's resolution, typically it's like, oh, lose weight, do more exercise. This year I kept it broad. I'm like, my New Year's resolution is to have no regrets, and I felt that I fairly well kept to that. But I'm wondering if you guys had any New Year's resolutions for this year.
um,
Really, yeah, I told you before I had too many on like the business level, and
Yeah.
personally I probably the same thing where it's like sport, be healthy, all that stuff.
Yeah.
But yeah, it didn't work out. But again, like because of the crazy year, it did transform a lot more than I expected. Actually, it pushed me forward. So yeah, that's what happened for me.
That's cool.
yeah. And in my case, I've always been quite a big goal setter, but it's not really been from year to year. It's more like a long-term plan. So, like I mentioned with the book, I could technically have just said, "Oh, I'll wait until after Christmas and in the new year and put it off." But once I made my mind up that I need to commit to this, I just started doing it here today. Um, but because I always take time off over Christmas and New Year. It's probably the only time when I really properly switch off. So it's hard not to start making plans. So I probably will have some. But beyond what I've already mentioned, I'm probably just going to stick to that for now. I think, like Steph, I tend to have too many big ideas, and a lot of them don't get done. So having a more realistic goal and breaking it down into like daily measurable tasks, like the 500 word challenge that I've set myself. I think that's the only way that you can get these things done. Otherwise, you just end up putting them off. So, generally people have like fitness goals and stuff like that, but mine is definitely just going to be the book, and that's something that I have to get done. I put it off for far too long.
That's good.
For my case, I actually resonate a lot with what you just said, Ian, about like long-term goals and things like that. I don't use New Year's as like to create new resolutions or things like that, but more to reflect on where I am, where I was last year at that time. And but funny enough, this year my goal was to travel a lot because I've been
That
running
happened.
the. It's crazy. But it happened in a way, actually. So funny things, how it's funny how life goes sometimes. But like for me, one of the things was like to travel this year and like get lost a little bit, try a lot of different things, and somehow I managed to do that this year. But in a way that I was not expecting at all, because like I'm a planner and I'm a little bit of a control freak. And so for me, this year has been like a lot of learning about myself and like managing sometimes some anxiety of like not being able to control shit and things like that. So, but it's been an experience and a journey. So I would say balance is positive, basically.
Yeah, that's cool. Question for you, Alex, because obviously you're working with a bit of a team at Typeform, right? So what's
Hmm.
that transition been like for you this year, with everything kind of going remote?
So for me, it's kind of easy because like I transition at the end of the year from running a 15 people team to like scale down because like I was running the Typeform brand up until now. And by December, I decided that I wanted to hire someone to replace me and start focusing on Video Ask, which is this new
Yeah,
product that we launched. And Video Ask is like a small startup within Typeform, right? So it's like a group of 10 people. And I collaborate with a couple of freelancers, but I don't have now like a team that I need to manage and things like
gotcha.
that, which for me, it's been like pretty chill this year. But the whole company at Typeform is like 300 people and we're all remote. And it's the transition has been actually quite smooth. So I remember that there was like a year ago or like 2 years ago, a little bit of like, oh, we actually should work um, from the office. And there was a little bit of like going back into the office like a couple of years ago because before Typeform was like a bit more flexible. And it's funny how now it's like everyone is remote and it's actually going really well. Collaboration. The only challenge that I've seen is that I wanted to travel a lot because I'm trying to create like people driven brand. And I set the bar for at the beginning of the year for this brand to be like at least 80% user centric and not centric, but like curated. Like all the content that we're producing comes from our users. Steph knows this very well because we're about to feature him on our podcast. Yay! But like, there's been actually a little bit of a challenge because my plan was to travel around and like meet with people and blah blah blah. But we're doing it online and it's kind of like working in a way. So yeah.
Yeah, it's cool. And then for Steph and Ian, I presume, Steph, you've kind of transitioned out from an agency, so you've kind of gone. You probably would have went remote work from home anyway, and then obviously, and you've kind of done the same. But how have you found working from home this year? Has it been any different to like previous years, or have you felt that you've been able to fit in quite well?
Yeah, I mean, there's really upsides to it in terms of like me also creating my own space. And I've been really enjoying that because I did the podcast here already and some other stuff. And now it feels like I've also invested a lot in this space, like cameras and screens and new laptops and stuff. So that feels really nice
Yeah,
to get up in the morning, put on your clothes, take your coffee, and get in your like small office space. Because I do think like before I just did my laptop on the sofa and that didn't really feel right. And now it does feel a little bit like the office in the home. So that's something I would definitely advise people if you're serious about working at home, make a little bit of a space for yourself, even if that's in a cupboard or something. I don't know, whatever you
yeah,
have to do. But besides that, like I've been thinking a lot about branding and brand strategy work, doing that remotely, like how that works. Because it's a lot about like having conversations with clients, doing workshops, all of that stuff. And so the physical part is very important in my day-to-day job. And actually, like I was surprised to see how well I could transfer that into like doing digital workshops with Mural and like using other tools like Video Ask and Typeform. And there's a lot of ways to do it, but I do think like the biggest problem is often like those first initial meetings where you really get a feel for each other. That's a little bit harder to do when you don't see each other physically, because I did like the part where I could just hop on a plane and go see that client. I
Yeah.
missed that
Yeah.
a lot. And that's
Mhm.
the one part I think can never really truly be replaced. But I do feel like a whole part of the process which I thought was never really replaceable, or doing it just like digitally, actually works really really well. I've done like full brand strategy projects with clients from the US where we did the workshop, everything, and I never saw them, and it actually turned out really well, and we have a good understanding. But there is some things you need to do that well. You really need to have a good structure, a good process, and a really like find a way to work together with these people that they do trust you. And that's by doing small check-ins on Friday, having beers together, like trying to mimic what you would do in real life, because you can't forget that part. Because it's digital, it's business only, that doesn't really work, I think.
Yeah, definitely. Um, Ian, how have you found working
Okay,
there?
so at the start of this year, I was working part-time for an agency, which was 3 days. And then the rest of the time I would do my own thing, which was basically from Thursday to Sunday. Um, I usually try and take the weekend off if I can, but sometimes, particularly my podcast, I tend to put that off. I tend to prioritize client work. So sometimes I do end up working over the weekend, but generally I take that time off. So I already had like a system in place. So I've already got a separate office. So I've got my dedicated space. So making that leap from being part-time to full-time was a relatively comfortable transition. It was just it was continuing what I'd already had, but rather than not having Monday to Wednesday there, I had access to all of that. Um, Something that can be difficult at times is I have a little one. She's 19 months old now, and my partner's a stay-at-home mum now. And they do like to come in and check up and how to see how things are going, and it's nice. I mean, I love that. It's really nice at times, and that's one of the reasons why I wanted to work at home. But sometimes I do need to just close the door, just because I need to focus and crack on with that. But I feel I got a nice routine with that. Um, I was really looking forward to being able to do a lot more networking and going out there and meeting potential clients, because that's something that I couldn't do that much previously, just because if I did block out time, it would basically lose a good chunk of my uh, 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 time that I had. And being full time, I would have more time for that. And because of COVID, I just haven't been able to do that. So it has felt a little bit like it's hard to kind of get away from it, because you can't uh, go out and uh, do things like you could last year. But I think that would change. I think I've got used to it now, and it was quite funny because I did make that transition just before the lockdowns. It kind of came with it that um, uh, I was limited to where I could go. So I'm looking forward to later next year when we can hopefully start going back to some normality. Fingers crossed.
Yeah.
You
Cool.
can go to work in your Christmas outfit, Ian.
Yeah.
All the time, every month of the year. All right, cool. I just got a notification from Zoom saying we've only got 8 minutes left before this meeting just like craps itself. So I've got one more question for you guys, and then we're gonna play a quick game to finish up. So to give you some context, at Pitchfork we've started planning very recently. Front row next year. So leading on from what you were saying, Steph, I want to get your opinion, guys, on how we could potentially make things like Zoom calls feel more personal. So whether it be doing beers on a Friday afternoon, just like I want to hear how maybe you've tried to adopt or even strategies that you try to partake on how you can make your video calls more personal and feel more real, you know? Does anyone have
Sure.
any suggestions, I guess?
Sure. I'm gonna hop in quickly. I think, like as I said before, right? Try to do things that you would do that are also fun, and not just because people associate Zooms with like, and it is. I mean, after a 4-hour workshop, you're really dead, drained even more than you could be physically. But try to make, like, first off, try shorter sessions. That's an easy tip. Like, don't do a 4-hour workshop on Zoom. You're gonna kill everyone in the room. Take it, like, break it up in maybe like 2 smaller blocks, or even smaller bits. Have more breaks. Use, like, one more tip I would say is, like, use the internet well. I mean, make it fun. Like, go out and take pictures from the internet, drop them in, use memes, use whatever you have, like you guys are doing sometimes on Pitch Proof. Like, you can still get interesting information out of people, but make it maybe a little bit more interactive. I mean, it's a digital medium. Why not use that? I think those are things that really help. And then one more thing before I stop babbling,
Yeah.
is like using a lot of check-ins in between the meetings. Like, I have Slack channels or WhatsApp with my clients where I just share them, like, along the way. I share them screenshots or voice memos of things I've seen, and that creates like this almost friendship relationship, which I think is really good to benefit the overall vibe.
That's cool. Yeah, no, I completely agree.
I'll add in some thoughts of mine. I don't have too many, but I think I really noticed this year that once you go above about 6 people in a Zoom hangout, it's just too many people. One of my uncles, he had his 70th birthday earlier in the year, and we had so many people in there. It was just absolutely insane. So I think my advice would be to keep it to a minimum and have just a handful of people in, and then that way uh, each person has a decent amount of time to talk. On the screen, you can see everybody at a nice size. But I think beyond 6 is just too many people. So maybe break the calls down into smaller groups, or I think in Zoom you can actually break it down into smaller segments anyway. I can't remember what the term is for that, but yeah, if you have large groups, definitely try and break them down as much as you can to make it more personal.
Yeah, definitely. Cool.
Yeah, the only thing I want to add to that is just like show up as you are, like, which is precisely the opposite of what I've done today. Like, today was a Christmas thing, so I put my lights on, my red thingy here, and I put like something cozy to have like this very fun moment. But like, just show up as you are. Like, I've been in Zoom meetings where like someone would have a baby, and they would have the baby here, and like that is personal, you know, like. And I had a friend who was like very stressed. Like, she was like at some point confessed to me that she was like stressed with Zoom meetings all the time, but like in the morning she would like wear makeup and things like that. And then at some point she was like, "Fuck it, you know, like I'm just gonna not use makeup and just show up as I am." And it's just like, I think when we turn on the camera, we like put out a version of ourselves that we'd like to be perceived. And at the end of the day, if what you're looking is to come across as natural, it's not what you need to do. You just need to show up and just like talk as you talk, and just like dress as you dress. And that's it. And something very stupid, but like, we're used to have like a camera fixed. Okay, this is maybe a bit technical, but like the moment I move the camera, like I'm hooked now on like this camera, but you see how this changes, and like you feel like you're with me here. That's a little stupid, but like sometimes just like if you're walking around on like your home, and like you decide, if you want to come across as natural, just move the camera. Maybe you're like this now. I'm like, okay, now I'm talking like this.
Yeah.
I feel so close to you, man.
Oh my god, I can feel you, dude. My sofa here. Like...
We've got 2.5 minutes left. What we're gonna do is a quick rock paper scissors tournament. All right. So how this
Oh
is
my
gonna work?
God.
One at a time. We're gonna go
Jesus.
Alex and Ian first, and then Ian and Steph, and then Steph and
Oh,
Alex.
Jesus.
So I'm gonna count down from 3, and then you've got to show rock, paper, or scissors. Whoever wins the most wins. All right. So we're gonna go
All
Alex
right,
and Ian first.
I just need to say that I get very anxious with this. Like I get really, really nervous.
Okay.
Anyway, so just like go for it.
All right. Alex and Ian first. 3, 2, 1, show. Alright,
Oh!
so Alex
It's the
is
same.
paper, and
Oof.
what were you, Ian? Sorry, I'm trying to.
It was paper as well.
Paper.
Oh, with
Okay, ready?
paper.
We're gonna go again. Ready? 3, 2, 1, show. Right. This is all right. Ian wins that one. All right, Ian.
Yes.
Here we go. 3, 2, 1, shoots. Oh, he
I
gets
won
it.
again.
Rocket.
Ian is the winner.
I think
Ian is
Ian's the winner, but we might as well do one more for Steph and Alex. Alright, here
Best
we go.
of 3.
3, 2, 1, shoot it. Steph has.
Yay.
Yeah, we're gonna crown probably Ian the winner on that one. Ian, congratulations.
Yes.
You take the crown. How do you
Congrats,
feel?
Ian.
Thank you. Thank you.
Alright, sweet. Alright, so we've only got a minute left on this Zoom call, so I'm conscious of time. But thank you guys so much for joining. I'm going to drop your socials and everything down below.
Yeah,
I'm going to
thank
give you
you.
about 10 seconds each to say goodbye, and then we're going to wrap up. So yeah,
Bye.
alright, Alex, you're up first. Say goodbye.
Thanks so much. I'll see you on YouTube.
Kill. Ian
Thanks, everyone. Have an amazing Christmas and New Year.
and Steph.
Thank you, everyone. Enjoy the holidays and just find me on YouTube.
Yes, definitely. I'll definitely drop the links. Alright, cool. Thanks, guys. We'll talk very soon. And thanks for joining
Cheers.
this amazing event.
Thanks,
Thanks,
Brian.
Brian.
All right,
Bye.
bye, 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 bye.
Take care.
Bye.
Cool. Fantastic. Alright. So, YouTube, I hope you enjoyed that. I'm going to close them out of those guys. Alright, so, before we head off, I want to do a couple of different notes. Number one, if you enjoyed that, make sure you chuck a subscribe on this video or on the live stream so you can be notified for our other 12 Days of Goodies events. Highly recommend you check out our charity that we're trying to raise money for, Pencils of Promise. If you go to pencilsofpromise.org, you can check out what they do there, which is really cool. And also, I want to run you guys through this really cool tool called Quest AI. Not only are they sponsoring, they're actually a really awesome team, and they have a really awesome product too. So let me share that with you guys because it's super important to run through. Alrighty. Screen transition. Alright, Quest AI. Basically, imagine this. You can build a website instantly. Now, no, I'm not joking when I say that. So imagine you have your website design in Figma, XD, or even Sketch, and you want to instantly, and I mean instantly, turn that into a working, responsive website with animations and click triggers and page linking and forms and all this fun stuff. You can do that with Quest AI. Using their simple plugin, you can easily just use your favorite tools like XD, Sketch, or Figma, and then literally through a click of a button and their really cool software and technology, you can build that design instantly as a actual web page, which is really cool. So I highly recommend you guys go to questai.com, or sorry, just quest.ai to go check that out. I highly recommend it. I'm going to chuck it in chat. Not only are they sponsoring us, these guys are really cool, and they've got a really cool product. So I highly recommend, just give it a shot, right? That's my recommendation. Just give it a shot. You will be impressed. It's a great opportunity for you to upsell your design work too. So say if you're just a designer and you're designing heaps of landing pages, but you need to outsource to a developer, you don't need to do that anymore, and you can save a ton of money. Say if you charge $3,000 for development and it only takes you 5 minutes to actually build the website. What's the maths on that? Let's work it out. It's actually, I'm not going to work out the maths. It's just a lot of money, right? You're making a lot of money for doing things that aren't going to take a lot of time. So yeah, highly recommend you check out these guys. As you can see, it's a pretty cool site. You can add videos, you can add embeds, you can add iframes, buttons, input fields, whatever you want. Their CMS is really cool too. As you can see, there's a lot of features. So I highly recommend you guys check these guys out. Let me show you a quick little web page that's built in Quest. I like this one. See, look at this. Look at the animations. There's like a video here. There's like, it's a proper web page, and it should even be mobile responsive. Yeah, look at that. It's got breakpoints. How cool is that? Right? I won't show you all the other stuff in the background. But yeah, that's how, this is something you can do with like Quest AI. And the great thing is you don't have to code, you don't have to do anything crazy like that. It's literally just designing in XD, Figma, or Sketch with your breakpoints, and then literally select those artboards, download their plugin, and then with a click of a button, you can turn that into a working website. It does the code and does all the magic, and then you can just add your transitions and animations and where you want pages to link in their actual software. And then you can export that to the web with your custom domain or their own domain. It's up to you guys. But yeah, highly recommend you check out quest.ai. That's literally the website, quest.ai. I've also chucked it in the chat. But yeah, that's enough from me fanboying about Quest. But yeah, I hope you guys have enjoyed this live stream today. We have a couple more, especially tomorrow. So basically 24 hours from now, we're doing a gingerbread house challenge. I have bought way too many gingerbread house kits, and I highly recommend you join that one because that's going to be a ton of fun. And we've got a bit of a team working around it too. I'm going to be joined with a couple of other people. So yeah, highly recommend you guys check that one out. That's it from me. I'm going to chuck some music on while we finish up. Have a good one, guys, and we'll talk very, very soon. Where's the starting soon screen? There it is.
On the first day of Christmas, my true love gave to me a partridge in a pear tree. On the second day of Christmas, my true love gave to me 2 turtle doves and a partridge in a pear tree. On the third day of Christmas, my true love gave to me 3 French hens, 2 turtle doves, and a partridge in a pear tree. On the fourth day of Christmas, my true love gave to me 4 calling birds, 3 French hens, 2 turtle doves, and a partridge in a pear tree. On the fifth day of Christmas, my true love gave to me 5 golden rings, 4 calling birds, 3 French hens, 2 turtle doves, and a partridge in a pear tree. On the 6th day of Christmas, my true love gave to me 6 geese laying, 5 golden rings, 4 calling birds, 3 French hens, 2 turtle doves, and a partridge in a pear tree. On the 7th day of Christmas, my true love gave to me 7 swans a swimming, 6 geese laying, 5 golden rings, 4 calling birds, 3 French hens, 2 turtle doves, and a partridge in a pear tree. On the 9th day of Christmas, my true love gave to me 9 ladies waiting, 8 maids a milking, 7 swans a swimming, 6 geese a laying, 5 golden rings, 4 calling birds, 3 French hens, 2 turtle doves, and a partridge in a pear tree. On the 10th day of Christmas, my true love gave to me 10 lords a leaping, 9 ladies waiting, 8 maids a milking, 7 swans a swimming, 6 geese a laying, 5 golden rings, 4 calling birds, 3 French hens, 2 turtle doves, and a partridge in a pear tree. On the 11th day of Christmas, my true love gave to me 11 pipers piping, 10 lords a leaping, 9 ladies waiting, 8 maids a milking, 7 swans a swimming, 6 geese a laying, 5 golden rings, my true love gave to me. 12 drummers drumming, 11 pipers piping, 10 lords of leaping, 9 ladies waiting, 8 maids a milking, 7 swans a swimming, 6 geese a laying, 5 golden rings, 4 golden birds, 3 French hens, 2 turtle doves, and a partridge in a pear tree, and a partridge in a pear tree.
Santa, I've been good this year. Make your list and check it twice. I'll leave you a note right here underneath the Christmas lights. Carols and bells